This is day 79 of Arukh HaShulchan Yomi. If you would like to sponsor a shir or more of Arukh HaShulchan Yomi, please contact me directly. It would be very much appreciated. We are doing today Siman Mem Zayin Sif Chaf Aleph until Siman Mem Ches Sif Aleph. So, yesterday we were talking about the question of learning Torah immediately after Ava Rabbah, and how many of the sources say that Kriyashma can count as Talmud Torah. It's not that way when it's used in the form of supplications or tefillos. This is all very difficult. It's very strange. The lady Bram, if not for their words, and your Lomer would seem to say the law of Hefsek Shem Bracha Limud Savev Holech Liber Rabbi Sayim Balei Taisus. The Taisus is not concerned with the interruption between learning and saying bracha and learning. So it's a b'shita the chova the mo miyak sas kamachar b'chasdar. It's simple, obviously, that one should learn a little bit after b'chas Torah for the bracha to be chal on the mitzvah. Like all other mitzvahs which to be adjacent to the bracha without interruption. By other mitzvahs, if you interrupt, you have to go back and make the bracha over again. The via freshman avarab birchas Torah. So what's the machine avarab birchas Torah? Ain't no birchas Torah polteres al kol hayom. The birchas Torah exempts you for the entire day. Avarab in a polteres rak mashulam ad miyad. Avarab only works for what you learn immediately, which is a very big chiddush in the understanding of the Yerushalmi. But the Zel Shomer Rishon, which is Shon al Asar, that you learned immediately afterwards. Meaning the animal test rock mash shon biachar tefillah or exam sad we should immediately after davening. But if you interrupt, afilu shon miyad, even if you're learning immediately, chayav b'rabchas haTorah kshiyoshib mode. That means to start when you sit down to learn. Zel shesholo lari, and that's what it has to read. The came b'chol pam shiyoshim l'mod tzarich l'barach Torah. Why don't you make a b'chas Torah every time you sit down to learn? This is because they held, the questioners in the Tosfos held that there's no difference between Avraham and Birchas Torah. They shivlem, and Rabbeinu Yitzchak responded to them. They say Rabba. That's only by Rabba for lo Birchas HaTorah atzma, and not by the bracha of Birchas Torah itself. The zesh kos for that which the Tosfos wrote. But Tzarfasim, and the French people, they say Psukim. And also the Mishnah is Misham Ad kan l'shona, l'chor according to Mishnah, you don't have to say anything out of the Birchas Torah. Hachi perusha means to say shehem. There's all in brackets, by the way. Shehem shonim gam mishnayos miyad. The chiddush is the divrei Torah you do according to Arukh HaShulchan's shita, which is like not like the others. According to the others, you don't need to learn anything immediately. Arukh HaShulchan says, of course, you have to learn something immediately. But the difference is that the Tzarfasim came up with this idea: learn mishnayos as well. We made this feel because they hold the Rakamash Shonim al Asar Poteres Birchas HaTorah. That only that which you learn immediately is exempted by Birchas HaTorah. So it's in order to pater Mishnayos for the rest of the day. You should learn Mishnayos immediately afterwards, after the bracha. But Lashon HaRosh seems to be like the two interpretations, I guess the Arukh HaShulchan's and the standard one. Can't because of Agon Evan Ozer Akbofen Achar Ayin Sham. So according to the Arukh HaShulchan, it comes out that to say some Dvar Torah after Birchas HaTorah is Mikra Din. Came word to be a Rambam Perek Zayin Milchus Halachid Av Ayin Sham. That's Evan Ozer Tzarech Mikra Mishnah Ukimara O Halacha. You need all three. The Mishnah Berurah says that since they're possible that you don't have to make a bracha after if you said Ava Rabbah, you don't make a bracha again after davening. If you were mafsik, you don't make a bracha if you were mafsik after Birchas Torah. Sorry, you don't have to make a bracha another bracha mafsik after Birchas Torah. Not like the Arukh HaShulchan. In other words, they don't need any Torah after Birchas Torah. So therefore, it's if you didn't get interrupted at Birchas Torah, so you should be mechaven Ava Rabbah to fulfill Birchas Torah and learn immediately a little bit after you finish davening. The Mishnah Berurah also writes that you exempt the entire day by Ava Rabbah, even if you interrupted and came and stood up and then came back to learn. Not like the Arukh HaShulchan, who seems to say you need Birchas Torah at that point. Base. If you made Birchas Torah and you started learning, then you interrupted. He doesn't have to make a bracha subsequent to the day. Constantly is involved. Goes back to is involved in Torah. I'm gonna shut up. Mashma, it sounds like the ain't a rugil. If you're not koveh eating normally, and you come in the middle of the day and say, "Yeah, I'm going to learn something." It's not a baruch. Because in 6 million more, it says if you interrupt, stop learning, you ask about soccer, got involved in your activities, since you have in mind to go back and learn what I have to say, that's why it's not have to say. It's all true also about sleeping and going to the bathhouse and going to the bathroom. The law of have sex interruption akan lishoina. That's in the quote from the basic. Sounds like also you have to specifically have in mind. Then you have to make a bracha. Chekos have a rush b'tshuva klal dalet. Yesh miskas of lo bein a daito limod od. Those who say don't require das to go back to learning. It's a das. Vein okay if you das a Torah v'shulchan aruch. It doesn't seem that way according to Shulchan Aruch. That was a little bit blurred, right? Doesn't sound like that according to Torah and Shulchan Aruch, says the Arukh HaShulchan. Umino minhag havakain, but that is the minhag. We don't make a Birchas Torah again during the day, even when you didn't have mind to go back to learn. However, once a minute became that, the first people was like Chukas HaGoyim. The first 500 people do it. We're over Chukas HaGoyim. The next we're not because Ray came. Always Chukas HaGoyim. So the first people who took upon themselves to stop making Birchas Torah every time they came back to learn, they were doing the wrong thing. But once so many people started doing that, it became an implicit tanai in the Birchas Torah that you have in mind always to go back if you have the opportunity. That's what he says. Once a minute is like that, I have a kol echad kista b'shas bracha. It's as if everybody made a condition at the time of the bracha. She must speak a kol meisais that should go for the next 24 hours, no matter what. But that which we say that interruption by sleeping and washing and going to the bathroom is not hefsek tzarchim. It's not clear. Came in and yochel limud says you can't learn then. Lo mani daito. What is why is this that's effective? Come on, but tefillah should be like tefillah. You make a bracha when you come out of the bathroom again, or you wake up. Yesh mishukasav some rain mishum diyesh kamadim b'merchatz beis hakisei. The Ogor says because even the merchatz and beis hakisei said halachas to remember. They ain't saying in Birchas Torah the ain't sort of bracha, but the Gra says that doesn't help because that we said before, just a pasuk in a question doesn't require Birchas Torah. So this is just remembering a specific halacha that doesn't require a Birchas Torah. The tzarich leima says the Rosh you have to say Talmud Torah lo dami gamazel chometzes. Talmud Torah is unique among ometzes. Chometzes came in chov olav al kol yom. All the mitzvahs doesn't have an obligation the entire day. Shapir have a hefsek. Therefore, that's the right to an interruption. Hamakom, the place in yochel kaim ba mitzvah where you can't fulfill the mitzvah. Mashing in Talmud Torah, supposed to learn the Torah the chov olav kol yom kol laila. It's always incumbent upon him when he has time to learn. Ain't shum davar mafsi. There's no interruption. No, it comes out according to this that really women who don't have a chiyuv to learn should make a Birchas Torah every time they come back to learn because they're not they don't have that obligation. I don't think that women have that minhag to do that, but according to the poskim here, it would seem quite logical that women, if they come to learn later on after making Birchas Torah in the morning, should make another Birchas Torah. It's an interesting question and interesting to contemplate what the paskin about it. Chafaf zeu shekasav beina b'yitzes to see if you have shenes kvat b'yom mitaso. If you go to sleep in a permanent sleep on your bed, it's a hefsek. You have to make a new bracha when you get up. Yesh and lav hefsek. Some people say it's not hefsek. The chein dog with the minhag is that not considered hefsek. Akan shono. The chorei kukadei rishona would seem like the first minute should be right because this is like a you're knocked out. When you come back to life, it's like Panim Chadashos. She has to make a new bracha. On the fear time should be on Rashi Shapir. But based on what we said, it becomes as if it's a Tanai, which is licked, which lies in the intrinsically in the bracha. Works out. The Kim Shumuchach Limod Lave Shum Davar Hefsek. That's actually what he says here. It doesn't say because it's Tanai, but he says because he has to learn, so nothing is a Hefsek. Right? So the question obviously becomes, so why should you ever make a Birchas Torah again? That's much too much. Once you made it once. No, it's because the Chacham Mevarach Hashem Baruch Birchas Torah. Here's where he puts it into the Tanai. Chacham Baruch Birchas Torah Daito Me Eis LeEis Ki Birchas HaShachar. Anytime you make a Birchas Torah, your intent is on the next 24 hours, including anytime you sleep and thereafter. Mishnah Berurah says, actually, I think it's a pretty famous Mishnah Berurah, that many bus that after you take a long sleep, even during the day, you should make a Birchas Torah, and those who do rely on those poskim and make a bracha, lo hifsid, they don't lose out. Back to Arukh HaShulchan. B'zeh shkasa b'sifyud beis, the afin lama balayla, even you learn the next night, alayla lechachar yom shavar, the night follows the day. They tell us, whoever goes much like you're shining, you don't make a new bracha as long as you didn't sleep, akar l'shona. Klamar meaning, in b'kol me'es le'es, every 24 hours, tzorich l'barach birchas Torah. And only when you go to bed at night, as a form of going to sleep for the end of that 24-hour period, that's considered to be hefsek. Anyway, it says the 24-hour period elapses, and then therefore it comes out of shtikla chumra. When you get up and you sleep in the middle of the night, after you madayin loading marmei sleish b'shleimus, so never stop, even though it's not a full 24 hours yet. Because when he rises, when he sits down and to learn, he has to make the Birchas Torah. The Daito adds Mankimu because his das was for the bracha to extend until he rose in the morning. Like all the Birchas HaShachar, and if you didn't sleep all night, you don't make a bracha until morning. To those who say that the Beis actually meant to say that if you don't sleep, you don't make the bracha at all. The Tumul 11, they were astonished about that. Avram was astonished. But he doesn't really mean that. It means that if you sleep, the bracha that you made elapses then, and if you sleep on your bed at night, the bracha you made elapses then, the next morning you have to make a new bracha. Or if you went through 24 hours without sleeping, the next morning you still make a bracha. It's not precisely 24 hours. Every more day you should make a Birchas Torah. Or if you get up at night, even in the middle of the night, or a boker, or when day breaks. This is the prevailing minhag, and you should not deviate. You come into so that I told you shan ode. So every time you get up from your bed, you have the mind to go back to sleep. Nearly, he says, "Midim come chatzois leivarich," because he wouldn't end the 24-hour period before chatzois. You are become palm shenis. You should make the bracha when you get up again in the morning. Machar chatzois, but if it's already after chatzois, yivarich. This seems supposed to be the Kabbalistic perspective. After chatzois, after chatzois, really considered to be day, in terms of learning Torah Miksav, etc. I mean, ain't that Elisha oat? He doesn't mind sleep at all. Further, as I'm berech at b'kumo kodim chatzos, you make the bracha even if you get up before midnight. Mishnah Berurah says that again, famous Mishnah Berurah, that somebody who's awake all night does not make a bracha of Birchas Torah because it's something brachas lo hakel. If you hear the Birchas Torah from somebody else, that means mechaven to be yotzei, that's good. Or you should have a command to yotzei have a rabbah. If I recall correctly, from days in which I used to make a mishmar, if I recall correctly, I'm sure to say, but I believe I do recall correctly, that the Rabbi would say paskins like the Arukh HaShulchan, that you do make a Birchas Torah in the morning, and there is the famous fake of Rabbi Kiva Eger, which I don't think he brings down here, that if you took a nap the day before, and you also went through the night even though you were awake, we might have shach and make the Birchas Torah the following morning. But because you both slept, if that's the determining factor, and you went through the end of the 24 hours, if that's the determining factor. My minhag was to make a Birchas Torah like the Arukh HaShulchan, whether I slept the day before or not. And that's as okay. Chavdal. וזהו שכסר בין הביסי סיב יגיעו ממש קודם אור היום, לימום מברך ברכס התורה. That was the basis of rights that if you got before daybreak, learn you make a bechas Torah. And it's also about sheyayich basically don't make another one when you go to shul akal l'shanu. That's how you're right. The kol should come mitaso wherever he gets up from bed. Nikum on the ace lace. 24 hours he lapses. Chayav baruch and make a new bracha. Because the Amashi couldn't or Yom Mevar Kol say the brachas, you can make all the brachas when you get up before daybreak. Chusu Brichas and says that Levina. Except for the bracha on the rooster. Parasha said Tamid also. You have to wait. Shemtin Lamram Anshirayam because the Tamid was brought after daybreak. The Ain Tatami Kare Balayla. Explains the Tamid is not brought at night. The Chen because of the tour and the tour writes the same thing. Shama Kol Atanigo. Perhaps you heard a cuckoo, cuckoo-riku, the tarnigo crowed in the middle of the night. You can make the bracha then. Pia Kabbalah gam below shama kol tarnigo. According to the Kabbalists, you can hear the sound of a rooster. Yochel bracha zu achar chatzos. To make this bracha after chatzos laila, after midnight. Bekum mitaso when you get up from his bed. Yesh nogim came. Some people do this. Okay. Hey, Hanashi Baruch is Birchas Torah. Women make Birchas Torah. Vav she'enu mitzvahs of Talmud Torah, even though they're not required to learn Torah. V'gam Kriya Shema P'turas and also examine Kriya Shema. Nevertheless, came and shachavas with tefillah since they have to daven. Kaval hem v'chay v'gam Kriya Shema B'sukah D'zimra Shiras Hayom. And they also made for themselves, accustomed to say Kriya Shema B'sukah D'zimra and Az Yashir. Gam Mishnah B'she Dinim Shlem Chavas Abod. And besides, those hold that they have to learn the halachos relevant to them. Come to say, says my grandma. They also are women in Ashkenaz make a bracha and to say, says my grandma. And because Amazon, they say al Toros chashlim adatonu, even though technically they're not required to learn Torah. We call him El Roshos Lebarech. Therefore, they're allowed to make the bracha. And he says here in the brackets. And this is also censorship, of course, but ger is marakadmon. In ancient times, gerin, of course, means any ger. Or ganke brichas the Torah v'duk, because the Torah was given to the nation, not to the individuals. It's a famous Brisker Rav who says the women, as I mentioned already before, women have to make a brichas Torah because it's the cheftza of teireh, which requires the bracha, not the tzivui, which requires, it's not a brichas mitzvahs in the normal sense, it's a bracha on the cheftza of Torah. Okay, Siman Memches. Parshas Tamid and Psukim Musaf Shabbos and Rosh Chodesh. Achash Gomer Birchas HaShachar. You finish Birchas HaShachar. Birchas HaTorah. V'Akedah. And the Parshas Akedah, which I have not said in many, many years, and when I did it was like only Yom Minarim. Parshas Trumas Hadeshen, which I do say. Parshas Kiyar, which I do say. Chayberes Mekayah Shem Chaber Rabim, not in this order, obviously. Shekol Eli Yochalim Gam Kodim Ariyom. Girls say these things also before daybreak. But when the day breaks, Yochal Yomar Parshas Tamid. Only then should you say Parshas Tamid. As Korban Ilachmi, it begins Korban Ilachmi Shai. So Yomar Pasuk Shechat Soyer. At the end, he told us in another pasuk that you still store the Korban Tamid on the side of the Mizbech. Gomer. V'achakach Yomar Tohu v'chulei. As Ktoras Samin. You bring that to say the Ktoras. Peter Parshas of Ktoras, V'achadus some money. Ktoras and its 11 ingredients. Bryce the Sheikhos Zeb, Bryce which discussed this. The Seder HaMarocha, Marocha, the order of the Marocha, meaning the order of the Avodah Beis Mikdash, Shana Abayav and Messiah V'chulei. In the Yekish Hasidim that doesn't appear, so I don't say it. I don't know why it doesn't appear, but it doesn't. V'ana B'koyach, V'gam Ribbon Olami, Atotzi B'sonik, what you need, Bas Sidurim. V'zel HaPi Ma'id Aminim, B'sod Megillah, Pasuk, the Bamo Heda. Says the Megillah, when Avraham asked HaKadosh Baruch Hu, how am I supposed to know they're going to inherit the land? Shamar HaKadosh Baruch Hu, what's supposed to have? Shamar HaKadosh Baruch Hu, descendants have. Shamar HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Avraham, the Gam, Sheyeh Chorei Beis HaMikdash. Even once the Beis HaMikdash is destroyed, the Kanlim Seder Karbanos I made for them an arrangement of Karbanos. Chos Mesh Kohen Bohem, as long as they read the Parsha of Karbanos. Ma'al Ani Alein Kilu Em Akil Fanei Karban. I attributed it to them as if they brought the actual Karban. Umocha Ani HaKarban, saying, I forgive all their sins. Chakal Amin afterwards the same Mishnah says some Korban price of the Shmuel. I don't say either of them. Only the Korban is Tzibur. They should buy clothing called Torah Shema Peh because Seder Shulchan has all the principles of Torah Shema Peh. Ve'ezim Koman Ikar the Karbanos. There are Ezim Koman is, I'm not sure what Ikar the Karbanos means. It's primarily about Karbanos. Yesh Mishmat Tzrich Lamod B'Yishua Asamiris Karbanos, and we require you to stand when you're saying Karbanos. The Karban Eina Ella Bamida, because Karban is only by the base of understanding. Kwakosam Siman Aleph Sif Chavav Shirabim Chokim Mazeh. Many people argue and say you can say it sitting down.